Hello, everybody. In this episode, we're going to talk about a statement that I've made routinely that oftentimes is controversial in nature, and that is that technical schools are the future, meaning that technical schools are going to overtake the four-year baccalaureate educational institution as the primary or dominant means of continued or higher education for individuals coming out of high school. Now, why do I say that? Well, to begin with, the system of education is changing. Now, we've talked in other videos about historically how educational systems evolved over time and the value of the four-year baccalaureate education as being something that creates a well-rounded student, a well-rounded professional coming out of that environment. And to do that, they implement a curriculum primarily focused on liberal arts education. Now, the technical college, or the trade school as it's oftentimes referred, focuses more heavily on preparing someone for specific career paths in industry. Now, there's one factor that supports my opinion about trade schools or technical schools being the future of higher education is because of AI. The advances in technology and the ready availability of information is changing the way that four-year baccalaureate institutions can operate. It's changing how they can create assignments, how they can assess the knowledge and proficiency of students. And the effect is ultimately going to be that their ability to assess these students, to certify that they have a level of knowledge, is going to become more difficult. It's going to become more unreliable, if you will, because students, once again, have the ability to use these technological platforms to complete the work that otherwise historically has demonstrated their knowledge and understanding of a given topic. And it was that knowledge and understanding, their ability to think and reason by applying many of the frameworks and concepts that they had come across in this educational system, and that made them more able to learn on the job, to be better managers in the future. Now, if that ability dissipates because students are no longer undertaking the same exercises, they're not reading the books, they're not doing the papers, they're not undertaking the critical thinking and analyses that's being replaced largely by AI, then the value of what the four-year baccalaureate degree purports to do, that is, create a well-rounded student that has these abilities, is going to diminish. Employers are going to look more readily to individuals who already have specific skill sets that fit in the job. Now, is there going to still be a role for individuals who go through higher education for the ability to understand others, the ability to demonstrate empathy, the ability to ultimately become good leaders? Of course, that is always going to exist, and those individuals who can demonstrate those tendencies are going to continue to rise to the top of the pile in larger organizations because it's those skills that will separate them, not the actual skill sets for doing specific jobs, but the ability, once again, to be a well-rounded person that shows empathy to others and can be a leader by inspiring and motivating others towards the goal of the organization. So I do not diminish in any way the importance of that type of education and the need for certain individuals to have it. But many individuals will never be in those roles. Many individuals will spend their entire career focused on skill-based tasks and objectives of their job. And AI is largely removing so many of the jobs that otherwise aren't specific skill focused, that is, where it requires a human being to undertake those tasks. And many of those types of jobs are what is focused upon in these technical education programs. Things that require physical labor, things that require a human being to be involved just by the very nature of it. AI is not doing the HVAC repair, or is not doing the electrical work, or is not doing the construction framing, or not doing some of the other things that you can learn as part of these technical programs. So you're going to see a shift towards this as being the primary source of higher education, just by virtue of what higher education's purpose now is, which is shifting dramatically to preparation for career fields and jobs. Now, one negative aspect of this is you're going to create a social hierarchy again in terms of who is eligible for certain jobs in organizations. That is, individuals who, one, possess a skill set, but also have that higher level education. So you may have a default towards individuals who, one, can afford to take part in higher education and to go through the internship programs or to go to more elite universities where there's a default deference by employers towards graduates of those organizations. So there's a litany of effects that this is likely to have on the public and the work environment. And we'll obviously talk about those at length in future episodes. But that's my opinion, and that's the basis behind my statement that the future of higher education is shifting dramatically to the technical school education. But as always, that's simply my opinion. If you have an opinion, please jump down in the comments, go over to thebusinessprofessor.com, start a discussion in the forum. But regardless, I hope to see you around the platform sometime soon. Until then, take care.